There were no deposits to the bank.
His assistant is afraid of the answer.
When he got incarcerated, I tried to tell him that I didn't really want to be involved with his criminal actions because I wasn't trying to be an accessory or anything else like that.
Was that the first time you've been incarcerated?
No, I've been incarcerated before.
This is Judge Judy.
Thomas Brooks is suing his former personal assistant, Guy Harrell, for stealing money from him while he was incarcerated and for filing a false restraining order.
Your Honor, this is case number 24 on the calendar in the matter of Brooks versus Harrell. Parties have been sworn in, Your Honor. You may be seated.
Mr. Brooks, it is your claim that the defendant who was in your employ somehow scammed you or embezzled you out of money.
Yes, ma'am.
The defendant said that he was working for you. He has a counterclaim. He says that you owe him money for wages. I got a few questions. You hired him, according to what I've read in your complaint, as an assistant to someone who has some sort of handicap condition. Is that right?
Yes, ma'am.
And what is your handicap condition?
I was bedbound at the time I met Mr. Harold in 2017.
No, just a second. Let's go slowly. You were bedbound.
Yes, ma'am.
In what year?
2017.
What?
In a room and board facility.
Was the state awarding you any money, any funds for an assistant?
Negative. No. I had my own money.
From what?
I've had money that I've been saving up, and while I was incarcerated, I had money saved up, and I was living in a room and board.
Saved up from what?
From many years of Social Security that accumulated, plus I had money saved in Social Security back pay.
Okay, let's go slowly, Mr. Brooks.
Yes, ma'am.
From many years of Social Security. Now,
And
you don't look like you're old enough to collect Social Security, so you were on Social Security disability.
Yes, ma'am.
Starting when?
I've been on it for approximately 22 years.
And how old are you, sir?
I'm 58 of years.
According to what I read in both the complaint and the answer, you were incarcerated.
Yes, I was.
From when to when? This last time?
February 8th of 2018, I was arrested. I was released on the 15th of December of 2018.
So you were incarcerated for approximately a year?
Approximately a year, 10 months, ma'am.
Was that the first time you've been incarcerated?
No, I've been incarcerated before.
This last time that you were incarcerated, sir, what facility were you at?
Robert Presley Detention Center, Riverside County Sheriff's Department.
Were you in the hospital wing?
Yes, 7th floor medical, in my own cell.
During the time that you...
Yes, ma'am. I always am.
Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
And were you there pre-trial or post-conviction?
I was there from the date of arrest to the date of sentence to the date of my release.
So that you were sentenced?
Yes, ma'am.
So you were convicted?
Yes, ma'am.
Convicted. You took a plea?
Yes, ma'am.
To what?
Harassing phone calls and a threat and violation of a restraining order.
Was that the first time you were arrested on this restraining order?
Yes.
Immediately prior to this incarceration, when was the immediate time that you were arrested and incarcerated prior to this arrest in February of 2018?
2008, I was arrested at state prison. I went to state prison, released in 2015. I was released on AB 109 due to my medical condition. They placed me in a room board where I was living at the time with Mr. Harrell.
Now, I'm going to give you, sir, unless I'm really interested in this, I would like you to tell me, in as short a period of time as possible, what money you think he took from you and how.
I submitted all the proof to you in your records, the copies of the accounts, the checks that he went and picked up from the bank under my name. He also collected two payments from the Superior Court Riverside in the amount of $500 and $1,500.
$1,000. They're both
Don't interrupt him.
$1,500 payment was one. $500 payment was the second. That money was never provided to me either.
What money was that for, this $500 and $1,500?
I filed a small claim action against my former landlord. I was awarded $3,800, but it was reduced to $2,000. I was in jail. Mr. Harrell went to the
what?
court. The harassing call, the threat, and the violation
No. Oh, was that against your landlord?
Negative, ma'am. That was a small claims action I filed prior to being arrested against my landlord for violating numerous code violations. I sued her in court. I won the judgment, but I was in jail at the second trial de novo, which he obtained illegally. Mr. Harrell went to the court, even though I filed a motion to the court that he did not want to go pick it up. On March 1st and April 2nd, he went to the court, picked up two
Who filed the motion for you? Who filed the
It was
motion
done
for
while I
you?
was out of custody. Before I got arrested, I filed a...
Who filed
I did,
it?
ma'am.
Personally, not with a lawyer.
No,
you personally
no.
did.
No lawyers are allowed, no.
What was the name of your landlord?
Wilma,
And what was the name of the victim in the case that the state had against you for violation of a protective order?
that was a person named Sheila. Negative. This was somebody that I had legal action against that works at the court that filed charges against me for violating an arrest.
Oh, no, just a second. This was another person that you filed a small claims court action against.
Court reporter.
I filed a...
Sheila.
Sheila, does not matter. I filed a small claims action prior to being
That I
arrested.
understand. What I'm asking you is, I asked you the name of the victim
There's
in the
two.
protective
Sheila.
order.
There's two.
You said her
Sheila-
name was Sheila. Sheila was a person that you had a business dealing with, a landlord, but not a social friend?
Negative.
She's a court reporter, ma'am, that he was suing
A
because
court
she didn't get
reporter?
him documents in time to appeal his eviction from the house with Castellanos.
So Sheila
Court reporter.
made an application for an order of protection because you were threatening or harassing her.
I was suing her.
That was granted.
Correct.
Just a second. That was granted. And then you were incarcerated for almost a year for violating that order of protection.
Well, along with other
I'm
charges.
just getting...
Correct, Your Honor.
Okay. But the landlady against whom you were successful in getting a judgment for $2,000, where Sheila allegedly didn't get the minutes in time so that you could appeal. Am I getting that right?
No, that was a separate case, Your Honor. This was his illegal detainer
separate-
case. Yeah, the legal detainer case is the case that she was the court reporter for, and because she didn't give him the report in time, his lawyer, which was the free clinic,
The transcript.
yes, he couldn't appeal his case, therefore he was evicted.
When I was evicted, I took legal action against me.
And the person who evicted him was the person against whom he got this $2,000 judgment? Or
Correct.
was that another eviction?
That was the only eviction that I was involved in.
That was the only one?
Correct.
Okay. Now, you were working for him. Did you have an hourly wage or did you do just
It was just like a
per job?
A per task, right? Per task, I would get paid approximately $200 to $300 per task, whether it was filing paperwork for him or actually appearing on his behalf in court. Those were always like $300 to cover for the time and the travel.
How many times did you appear in court for him?
I lost track. Over approximately half to a dozen times. Most of the time it was just small claims. When he got incarcerated, that's when I tried to tell him that I didn't really want to be involved with his criminal actions because I wasn't trying to be an accessory or anything else like that. So that's where we're at.
Now, did you get from the court $2,000?
Correct payments in 2 installments.
$1,500 and one for $500.
Your Honor, I received the checks, and I was there at the hearing when they issued the amounts for the check.
And they were
$1,000 each.
$2,000.
Correct.
Now, on what date did you get that $2,000 check?
The first payment was...
Those two?
Yes, March 1st, I believe. He
3/1 of this year?
Of 19?
18.
18.
Don't ask him.
I don't remember, Your
Don't
Honor.
ask.
So 18. March
Was
1st.
he incarcerated at the time?
Yes, he was.
So it had to be March of 18.
Yes,
So that's $1,000.
Correct.
And when was the second check that you got?
April 2nd.
Of 18.
Correct.
What did you do with that money?
I took it to his bank. I took the checks to his bank like he instructed me to. That's all I ever did when he had money that he needed deposited was I took it to the bank and they handle it.
And you made a deposit in his name?
I just gave it to the clerk. I don't physically do any deposits. I just give them. He already arranges
Well, you
it.
have to. You can't just hand them. Just a second.
Go ahead.
You can't just walk into a bank and hand them a check. There are little cubby holes.
Yeah.
You take out a slip.
I understand.
Or you have a slip already prepared.
He had
and
the
you
bank
hand
do that.
and they make a deposit. What?
He had the bank do that prior to my arrival. They handled all that stuff for him.
What's the name of the bank that handled this stuff for
Well,
him?
it's up shop. That's the best that I can determine.
What bank?
I
What is the name of the bank?
don't know the name. It's out
What
of
was the
business.
name of your bank, sir?
My bank was First National Bank of Southern California, ma'am.
And he sued them.
Did
as
you
well.
sue them?
Of course. Yes, ma'am.
Shh.
I'm sorry.
Did you sue them?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you have a lawyer?
No, ma'am.
Did you sue them over this money?
I sued the tellers, but the thing is, there was no deposits made to my account at all.
Mr. Brooks,
Yes, ma'am.
in what year did you sue the bank?
It's still ongoing, ma'am. They're getting an attorney.
It's ongoing?
Yes, ma'am. See, they tried to get restraining orders
And
against
that,
me.
just a second, that case against the bank is still ongoing.
It's not
Is
against
that
the
what you
bank,
just said
ma'am.
to
It's
me?
against the bank employees, a couple of bank employees that were violating the credit union or policies. But they're trying to get a restraining order to this day. It's still ongoing on that.
Did it have anything to do with these
Negative.
deposits?
No, nothing at all, ma'am. There were no deposits to the bank.
I don't know that.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
As of September 2019, which is after you were released, he's still asking you for payment.
I don't owe him no money. I have proof.
I didn't ask you whether you were owing him
Okay.
anything, sir.
Says his former personal assistant, Guy Harrell, stole settlement money from him while he was in jail. Guy is countersuing for unpaid wages.
Now, Mr. Brooks, how many lawsuits have you filed within the last 3 years?
Total of 5 in 2 counties.
It's not true.
Total of 5.
Yes, ma'am.
In the last 3 years.
Yes, ma'am.
In the last 8 years, how many lawsuits have you filed?
I can't even answer that, to be honest with you.
Or they can
I've had different types of suits.
Shh. I'm just asking you, in the last 8 years.
I
You
can't tell
just
you
told
that.
me in the last 3, one of which you were incarcerated. So in 2 years, you filed 5 lawsuits. Prior to being incarcerated, for the immediate 5 years before you were incarcerated, how many lawsuits did you file?
I can't tell you that, honestly. I could say probably in the last 5 years, 4 years since I've been out of custody, maybe 5 or 6, to be honest with you. I can't really remember. I don't keep track of that.
I said prior to you going to jail. Prior to.
Probably 4 to 5, ma'am. I don't have the exact amount.
Mr. Harrell, you started to do work for him in 2017?
Correct, January.
Prior to that, do you know how many lawsuits Mr. Brooks had filed?
No clue whatsoever. I didn't even know anything about his legal issues until 2018 when he
Well, I'd like-
AA and then Empire Cab, which they're still in business, but they mostly do non-emergency medical transport now. I got a random call from a customer, which was turned out to be Mr. Brooks. I want to say it was approximately around the 10th of January, 2017. Never had any prior dealings or information about him. I learned a lot in the years while taking him from other drivers. But his first call was come to his house. He handed me his debit card.
Okay, I got it. That's how you became involved with him.
Correct.
Now, how many times did you make deposits in his account?
Less than half a dozen.
And he got out of jail in December of 2019.
18.
Or
ma'am.
2018. When, for the first time, did Mr. Brooks accuse you of taking money
Never.
from him?
Never. Not until he tried to serve me, I guess, in March, but I never looked at the paperwork.
March of 2020?
I believe so.
Or March of 2000?
Of 20.
Mr. Brooks,
Yes.
you got out of jail almost 2 years ago. When, for the first time, did you ask Mr. Harrell for an accounting of any of this money?
I've always have
Never.
Can he answer?
Shh.
He has never given me a receipt.
ahead.
I've asked for an accounting numerous times. I've also requested the county of Riverside to get an account. He tells people what they need. I give him my debit card for whatever service he asks for, and he swipes the card and he puts in my PIN and my code.
All right. Mr. Brooks, when you got out of jail in December of 2018, did you continue to use Mr. Harrell's services?
Not at all. He wouldn't even pick me up from the jail to take me back to my room and board.
So is what you're telling me you have not seen Mr. Harrell from the time you went to jail until today?
No, I did not say that. I said I've not used his service. I have called him numerous times. He hangs up on me or tries to block my number. So I have asked him numerous times for receipts or accounting and the money.
No,
that he
I'm not
took.
asking you receipt or accounting, Mr. Brooks. I'm not asking you receipt or accounting. What I'm asking you is whether Mr. Harrell has done any work for you, any of these small jobs,
Negative.
since you got out of jail.
Nothing. He refuses.
Is that correct, Mr. Harrell?
Absolutely incorrect.
Well, when was the last time you did a job for Mr. Brooks?
The last correspondence officially that I have with him, where I'm actually still doing stuff for him, which was basically just doing either court documents, like affidavits for him, or actually showing up in court. The last refusal that I have...
show me.
Okay. The last refusal that I have for him in an email...
All I want you to do is show me some evidence Mr. Harrell has used your services since he's out of jail.
As of September 16, 2019, he's still trying to get me to do services for him when I emphatically tell him. You know, he keeps sending me documents. Okay.
Just
It's
don't
down
say
here,
anything.
Your
Let
Honor.
me read this.
This is my statement to him.
I see it.
Okay.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
You don't say anywhere that he owes you money.
He does owe me the money he stole from the court judgment and the bank.
I suggest, Mr. Brooks, you find something else to do other than sue people.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy. Thomas Brooks has accused his former personal assistant, Guy Harrell, of stealing money from him while he was locked up.
Okay, go ahead.
He keeps wanting me to work on his behalf. And I
Wanting
told him,
to.
Stop. I've already told you to contact me with payment, and then we'll continue to do business after that. But he couldn't get it in his head.
Wanting him to do work is one thing. Doing it is another.
I appeared at least 2 or 3 cases between the time of him being incarcerated and the time that I told him that I'm refusing to do work for lack of payment. And he just continues to send me...
Just a second.
Okay, sorry.
Okay.
Now, that's September 16th, Your Honor. I have another one from the 23rd.
Mr. Harrell wrote to you on September the 16th of 2019. Am I reading this right?
Correct.
I've asked you repeatedly, contact me by mail with a check, nothing else. Stop contacting me. What was that about?
He keeps thinking I owe him $4,500, and I don't owe him nothing. He's made a declaration to the court, and I have the statement showing he's been paid in full. I have his PayPal account screenshot and all the copies of the checks.
So, as of at least that date, the 19th, he has something else to show me. As of September 2019, which is after you were released, he's still asking you for payment. He's asking you for a check.
I don't owe him no money. I have proof.
I didn't ask you whether you were owing him anything, sir.
He's asking for money.
I said he was still asking you for a check.
Yes.
Okay, let me see the next time, Mr. Harrell.
This is the emphatic denial from him on September 23rd, where he just listed all the threats and demands for, for me if I was going to come after him.
You mean that was for your request to him for money?
Just and for him to stop contacting me. And he sent me this long email about all the factors of which he wasn't going to pay me.
Well, Mr. Brooks,
yes.
Say anything about him owing you any money.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. Closed captioning sponsored by... Want justice? Go to judgejudy.com. Like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter.
Okay, now, you're talking in this letter about his claim that you owe him money. You don't say anywhere that he owes you money.
He does owe me the money he stole from the court judgment and the bank. I have the copies of them. I'd like to submit my proof, please.
We're done. We're done. Mr. Harrell.
Yes, Your Honor.
I would suggest you not do any more work for him. Do you understand?
I haven't, Your Honor.
Okay, good. And you haven't, according to this, in 2 years, right?
Approximately
you
since
told him to leave you
June
alone.
of 2019,
right.
Correct.
So in 2 years, yeah.
Can I show my exhibits,
I suggest,
please?
Mr. Brooks, you find something else to do other than sue people. Your case is dismissed. We're done.
That's fine, no problem.
The counterclaim, Your Honor?
Gone.
Counterclaim?
Gone.
So I'm not going to get paid?
I just answered you.
Okay, all
It's
right.
2 years old. That's correct. Goodbye, both of you. We're done.
This case is concluded. Let's step out.
And on the next Judge Judy.
I just completely walked into the window with trash in my hand and fell back.
He was intoxicated.
You saw him fall.
I did, and he called his mom right away. She told him.
He's going to continue on this. He's not going to stop.
No, I'm not. I see what I got coming.
One of his lawyers told me when I first got involved with his criminal cases, I should run from this guy, not walk.
I had harassing phone calls. Yes, that's a misdemeanor.
Money when you're in business is key. I mean, I got thousands, tens of thousands of dollars from working from this guy.
And he takes $4,000 out of my account when I'm in jail. What else am I supposed to do? Sue.
You had a house that burned down.
A tragic fire had a silver lining.
How much did the insurance company settle with you for on the burnt-out house?
Well,
That's a question. I expect an answer.
But did she take the money and run?
You did not rebuild the house. Do you get where I'm going, Miss Cassis?
no.
I have all the answers.
This is Judge Judy.
Soraya Cassis is suing her former contractor, Tony Duarte, for failing to perform services on her home after it had burned down.
Now it's case number 45 on the calendar in the matter of Cassis versus Duarte. Parties have been sworn in.
It burned down, and you hired the defendant to do some demolition work to finish demolishing the house and to take away the debris. You claim that you made payments to him, and he didn't fulfill his obligation. That's what the case is about. Am I right?
Yes.
Okay. And you're suing him for $5,000 for an unfinished project.
Well, I basically made a claim against his bond company, and my award for the bond company...
No, just...
Oh, we're not talking...
You're suing him today for $5,000. Am I
Yes.
correct?
Yes.
All right. Now, so I have a few preliminary questions for you.
Okay.
What was the address of the house that burned down?
Fran Street,
When did you buy Fran Street?
2007.
How much did you pay for the house in 2007?
I only paid 95,000, 97.
No. I want you to think very carefully. How much did you pay for the house? Just a second. In 2005, would it have been closer to 2005 when you purchased Fran Street?
Possibly, and it was...
Fran Street.
Yes. I'm sorry if I said the wrong number.
That's correct. And that house was purchased for approximately $88,000. Is that right?
A mortgage, and I had a second mortgage.
And what was the other mortgage?
Yeah, I don't...
And to whom?
It started out with
Let's-
Chase Bank, but they sold it in the secondary mortgage market like 3 times.
Who owned the mortgage on the house?
I did. May I say something?
No, I want you to,
Okay.
I asked you a simple question.
Okay.
And I want you to understand, Ms. Cassis, that I have all the answers.
Okay.
You bought the house that we're talking about on Fran Street that burned down. How much did you pay for it when you purchased it? That's a simple
Your
question.
Honor,
I have homes over the years, and
I don't remember exactly. All I remember is that it was creative financing. Whatever was on paper, they gave me cash back so I could fix up the house. So I don't remember exactly what it was, but like I thought it was 97.
I don't want exactly. Give me within $5,000. How much was it? You lived there.
I don't remember
You
if it was
lived there.
95 or 97,000. I don't remember.
Okay, 95. Shh, just a second. 95.
If you see the
Now,
88,000,
it was
that's the first mortgage. There was creative financing. They gave me back money. So that's why I...
Yeah, I got you.
Okay.
Now, you insured the house for in what year?
Okay.
Take a breath before you answer my question.
Okay.
You insured the house for $230,000 when?
I insured the
What
house
year?
every year. Every year I would insure
Yes.
it for the maximum amount to rebuild because I knew that I had to do that because building was expensive. So every single year I
Good.
had maximum
Okay.
insurance on it.
Insurance. Okay, here we go. So the maximum insurance was $230,000. Your house burned down in what month and year?
November of 2017.
And at that time, the insurance company, according to you, was going to give you a payout of $230,000 to replace the house. That's according to your statement that you signed.
Your Honor, it was $230,000 because I have 3 estimates from 3 contractors that it would cost $230,000 at the end of the year. One of them is from Doherty, and I have 2 other ones.
Just a second. I'm not finished questioning you yet. Don't get beyond my questions.
Sorry.
So the house that you paid under $100,000 for, you were now getting from the insurance company $230,000. Now you had an electrical fire.
Yes, ma'am, but they were.
That's what you say here.
They were not getting. The fireman said that on the
Okay.
report. Yes.
Just a second. That's not what I asked you. I said you said you had an electrical fire.
According to the.
Where are you currently? I'm speaking. Where are you currently living?
I bought a house
Right.
in California City.
You bought a house in California City, and the address of that house is 21. Is that right?
Yes.
Who owns that house?
I own it, but I just recently put it in a trust. For my daughters. but I don't know if it's been recorded yet.
How much did you pay for that house?
I got it. Well, basically, it's not a house. It's a town. They're attached together. So I paid.
You paid
$115.
$115. That is correct. Now, who is Mark Anthony?
A person I gave a deli owner that I gave money to help him open up his deli. That I thought that was going to be my business. We had an agreement. After I bought the house, I invested in this deli, but he breached contract also.
So you are at the same time suing Mr. in another place.
Actually,
okay. Now, how much did the insurance company settle with you for on the burnt-out house?
Well,
That's a question. I expect an answer. A figure, a number.
Your Honor.
A number.
Number. It's replacement costs and actual value costs. So when they settle.
I asked you a question.
Okay.
I expect a numerical answer. How much did the insurance company pay you for the house?
I received
that had an electrical fire?
I received $90,000 for property that was burnt. $90,000, and I received only.
That's not all you received.
Wait, I'm not done.
Come on.
I also received 120. I think it was 120,000 for a dwelling. I think. And then I had to pay off my mortgage, which left me with $70,000 to buy a new house.
Just a second. Just a second. I asked you for an entire figure. How much did you receive from the insurance company for the house?
For the house, $120,000 because I did not build.
And for the contents?
$90,000. $90,000.
How much did Mr. Duarte's bond company pay you?
The award was. The award or what they ended up paying me? And I don't recall the rest of $13,000.
Did you sue the bond company?
I made a claim with the bond company.
My question, Ms. Cassini, you made a claim with the bond company.
Yes, I did.
For how much? His bond company. For how much?
I made the claim. I requested the full $15,000, but
you requested $15,000 from
Yes.
his bond company. Okay. And how much did his bond company give you?
They ended up giving me only $4,800.
Do you get where I'm going, Miss Cassis?
No.
Do you get where I'm going?
No, Your Honor. I wanted to build my house. I have proof of a.
So what?
May I show you some situations whenever you're ready? I have all the proof in the world to show you the way this incident turned out.
Listen, according to your complaint, Ms. Cassis, you paid Mr. Duarte, according to your signed complaint, $4,500 in advance. You said he did not complete the work. He did not demolish, nor did he haul away the stuff that he was supposed to haul away so that you could rebuild the house. That's what this is about. Well, his bond company, probably with his consent, paid you $4,800. You did build the house. You took the $230,000 that you got from the insurance company for this electrical fire.
No, I didn't, ma'am.
You purchased another property.
No.
I'm just
I did not receive $230,000.
What you just told me.
No, I never received $230,000 from the insurance company.
Well, you just told me you received $120 and $90.
You know, Your Honor.
That's what you told me.
Your Honor, let me tell you something. They didn't just give me that money. I had to work to protect myself because of what he did to me, okay? Now, if you would just let me speak and prove what really happened, I wanted my house to be rebuilt. A $250,000 house is much better than going into a condo in California City, okay? So, I mean, obviously I wanted to build. I have, through emails, been back and forth with him for 12 months, 10 months, okay? With his excuses. I had my attorney write him a letter. I have all of the proof right here. And
I don't care.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
Ms. Cassis?
Yes.
Pay attention. This is not the Scopes trial. You paid him $4,800. You claimed he didn't do the work for $4,800. His bond company gave you $4,800.
And later today.
Show me of the car.
I didn't bring it with me.
Well, then you thought you were coming to the beach today?
No.
Today you're coming to court.
Soraya Cassis says her former contractor, Tony Duarte, never finished the demolition of her home after it had burned down.
Now, you paid him $4,800.
And he didn't.
You got $4,800.
No, because
from the bond company.
No, because now the demolition costs $8,000. I have the estimates.
Miss Cassis?
Yes.
Miss Cassis?
Yes.
Pay attention.
Yes.
This is not the Scopes trial. You paid him $4,800. You claimed he didn't do the work for $4,800. His bond company gave you $4,800.
And for the whole year, I paid $3,000 of fence rental. I had to put taxes on it, which is another $1,500. Okay, and the new estimate to do demo is $8,000. So that's where they came in. They did their investigation on everything I gave them, and I have the fence receipt.
How much money did you get from the insurance company?
$4,800
for your house.
But $4,800.
No,
but
that's his bond company. How much did you get from the insurance company for your house that burned down?
$102. If they didn't give me the check, they gave the check to my mortgage company.
Just how much were you left with that enabled you to buy the house where you...
$70,000.
After they paid off the mortgage.
Yes.
And you used that as a down payment to buy another place to live.
No, I actually paid cash for the place that I live because I...
Okay, we're done here. Your Honor, you paid him $4,800. His bond company gave you $4,800.
Your Honor,
we're done.
Can I
Case
please...
is over. Period.
Your Honor,
we're done. I hope there are people.
I
hope there are people watching this case. We're done.
Okay.
Do you have anything you want to add, sir?
I do. That's what I put up with for months, and it was never a demo. That's the part that upset me the most. Is that with my bond company, they would not accept any of my documented. I took screenshots of my phone where we had text messaging back and forth. I have one right here where it says, I can clean the whole place and dispose of the trash for $4,500. That's all I was doing. Someplace along the line, I guess her insurance company wanted it demoed. I said, to demo it, you need to get an engineer out there. We got to do. I told her all this stuff. I sent her emails. She ignored most of it. See,
we're done.
Parties are excused.
I just wanted to get rid of this person. This has been a nightmare for me. She did send documents to the... I'm not. I'm just glad it's over.
Parties in the matter of Reyes Ruiz versus Linares. Step to the podium, please.
Jorge Reyes Ruiz is suing body shop owner Jorge Linares for improperly fixing his car after an accident.
Mr. Ruiz, the defendant is a mechanic, and you were in an automobile accident, and you were hit from behind.
Correct.
So the accident was clearly the fault of the other driver.
Correct.
Who had insurance.
Yes.
And that happened in what month and year, Mr. Ruiz?
September 2019.
2019 or 18?
It's a little blurry, 18, yeah.
And what was the damage to your car when it was hit from behind by another car?
Oh, it was just rear-ended.
So you had rear damage to your car?
Correct.
When did you take the car to be fixed by the defendant?
October of 2018, yeah, approximately. Yeah, because the car got damaged in September, so the adjuster...
No. First of all, you were coming to court today. This is what I'm trying to put together from your complaint. Your car was rear-ended by a car that had insurance. You took it at some point to the defendant. Prior to taking it to the defendant, you had another accident where a car hit your car in another. So when you took your car to the defendant to be fixed, you specifically said to him, do not fix the other damage to the car because that wasn't caused by the person who hit me in the rear. That's what you say.
Correct.
Because you either weren't planning on fixing it or you didn't have the money to fix it.
Correct.
The defendant, according to you, dealt with the insurance company, and then you went to pick up your car. Was the rear of your car fixed?
Yes.
Is my question. And the rear of your car was fixed to your satisfaction?
No, it wasn't.
Well, show me pictures of what you're dissatisfied with the rear of the car.
I didn't bring it with me. I have pictures
Well, then you thought you were coming to the beach today?
No.
Today you're coming to court.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
Is the damage that you're showing me on the driver's side and the fixed that you showed me the passenger side?
Yes, they made a mistake.
You made a mistake. You know when you made a mistake?
Yes.
When you came here.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy.
Jorge Reyes Ruiz claims body shop owner Jorge Linares improperly fixed his...
This is about Mr. Ruiz. So you're not dissatisfied with the work that he did on the rear of your car. Because if you were dissatisfied with that work, you would have brought me a photograph, right?
Correct.
Right. What you state in your complaint was that the defendant also tried to fix or to make it look better where you had had the other accident, something that you didn't ask him to do and didn't want him to do because you weren't going to fix it. And so when you went to pick up your car, the work that the defendant was supposed to do on the rear was done to your satisfaction. He touched the side of your car. You say you were dissatisfied with the work that he did on the side of your car, and it cost you $4,000 to fix that work.
That is correct.
So now I would like to see two things. I want you to show me a photograph of the car before he touched it, after he finished it. Then I want to see the paid bill from the company that fixed it for $4,000, and I want to see a picture of the car that you drove to court with today. Do you understand what I want to see?
So you want a picture?
Mr. Ruiz.
Yes, sir.
Of, if you have it, what the car looked like before the defendant touched the side of your car.
It's right here.
That's what the car looked like before he touched. Oh, that's a huge, that's a side swipe.
Yeah, somebody.
So
yeah.
now I would like to see what it looked like when he finished it, that you said you were dissatisfied with. Is that the same side of the car?
Judge Judy continues in a moment. Closed captioning sponsored by... Have you been cheated? Go to judgejudy.com, like us on Facebook, and follow us on Twitter.
Now, could you put up the other picture first? Okay. Well, on one side, Mr. Ruiz, you're showing me the driver's side of the car.
That is correct, yes.
The other picture looks like the passenger side. Am I crazy?
No, you're right.
Is one side the driver's side and one side the passenger side?
Well, I when, you know, I was a little
Wait, just leave them both up there.
Oh.
Well, you look at them and then tell me, is the damage that you're showing me on the driver's side and the fixed that you either a yes or a no? Are they two different sides of the car?
Yes, they're two different sides of the car. I made a mistake.
What? You
We're
made
human.
a mistake. You know when you made a mistake? Do you know when you made a mistake, Mr. Ruiz?
Yes.
When you came here. Yeah, when you came here. Goodbye, Mr. Ruiz. Unless you have another picture you want to show me. Unless you want to show me the same side of the car.
I do, but
Goodbye,
I would
Mr.
have to go to my
I was
car
stupid.
and
Goodbye.
make a
Goodbye. Goodbye. Goodbye.
This case is concluded. Parties are excused.
And on the next Judge Judy...
She spread lies after lies, calling my dogs murderers. I don't deny her feelings. I deny the way she has gone on about it. It's ridiculous.
Your dogs weren't killed, sir.
Judge Judy.
I'm happy.
Well, I did come a little unprepared.
I tell you 3 times, please send it up, bring it over, and I take care.
When you don't have the correct information, there's really no case.
Now I'm gonna keep record for anything.
It's a lesson learned.
A roommate moves out.
All of the bills were in my name. She had an altercation with the other roommate.
Getting a dog that she complained about.
Yes, that's what happened.
She parked her car in such a way that you could not get your car out. And you also think she's responsible for that.
Absolutely not.
Let's get real.
This is Judge Judy. Caitlin Zimbardi is suing her former roommate, 24-year-old Brittany Hill, for rent, utility bills, and damage to her car. Brittany is countersuing for harassment and emotional distress.
Judge, this is case number 148 on the calendar, the matter of Zimbardi versus Hill. Parties have been sworn in. Ma'am, have a seat, please.
Thank you, Bert. Ms. Zimbardi, the defendant was a roommate of yours.
Yes, Your Honor.
And it is your claim, she's no longer a roommate of yours, that she owes you for rent. The rent you are alleging she owes you was someone else's rent. You understand that it is your claim that the defendant had an argument with one of your other roommates. Because of the argument, which you believe she initiated, the other roommate moved out, and you believe because she was responsible for that argument, she should pay that roommate. Is that right?
Yes, Your Honor.
That's your first claim.
Correct.
Your second claim is that at some point while she was your roommate, she parked her car in such a way that you could not get your car out.
Yes, that's true.
Your parking spot. I'm just trying to get this all down right. You knocked at her door to tell her to move her car. She did not respond. So you went back to your car and tried to maneuver around her car and broke your mirror.
Yes, that's
in
what
the
happened.
process.
Correct.
And you also think she's responsible for that.
Yes, because if she
so
wouldn't
those
have
are the two things.
Yes.
Yes.
If she wouldn't have been parked behind me, I could have gotten out easily.
And your counterclaim is that she made your life miserable as a roommate.
Yes, Your Honor.
Something about you getting a dog that she complained about, and I don't care. Neither does the law.
Right.
Okay, whether she reported you for having a dog and that would upset you, and nobody cares about that. So your counterclaim is dismissed. I'm going to dismiss your claim as well, but I may let you tell
There's
me
additional
why you
claims.
why you think she's responsible. Okay?
Yes. It was considered a
5
house.
minutes of my time.
Okay. The rent was considered a house rent. We had all moved in together September 1st of 2019. None of us had known each other. And in that 2 weeks, she had an altercation with the other roommate. She had texted her she doesn't want her to move in, even though we tried to have a conversation about making things smooth so we can continue living together. I have text messages showing that she told her, I don't want you to move in, and I don't like you. You have a bad attitude. And from another roommate, which the same thing happened, that she was speaking to Brittany. She got bad responses from Brittany. She was rude to her, and she also didn't want to move in. And so then when the rent was due, I was the one who had to cover the $1,100. She said that because it was her fault that she would pay me back for it.
Well, I'd like to see somewhere, because do you acknowledge, Ms. Hill, that you agreed to pay her back for roommates that didn't move in?
Absolutely not. I'm not a subletter.
Okay,
I'm on the lease.
listen to what I'm saying. Just answer my question.
Sure.
Do you have anything in writing from her where she acknowledges that she will pay the rent for other people because they didn't move in?
That in writing, I do have the in writing of her telling the roommate not to move in.
I don't need that.
Okay.
That's not an issue. She still wouldn't be responsible for their rent.
Well, it is a household rent, and our landlord has claimed time and time again that we're all responsible for the full amount.
Well, you are, but she doesn't owe you for anything. She owes the landlord. So now let me understand this. I just want to understand. The other roommates didn't move in. She doesn't live there anymore. Is that right? She doesn't live there anymore.
She just moved out this
month. Or does she?
No.
Up until the time she moved out, was she paying her rent?
No, she stopped paying rent in March of 2020. That's not part of the claim. I'm at my main claim request is back owed utility bills.
All right. Well, then let's get real, because she doesn't owe you for somebody else's rent, and she doesn't owe you because you couldn't back out your car.
If that was even true.
That's on you. You got to take responsibility. Just a second. I don't need your help. I've been doing this job a long time. If you, because of your misjudgment, have an accident, that's on you. That's not on her because she didn't move her car.
I understand, Your Honor.
Okay. Now, what you're suing her for, if what you're telling me is utilities, up until last month was, she moved out in November? November what?
I moved out December 5th.
Okay. And what utility?
I have 2 LADWP bills, 1 SoCal gas bill, and 1 Spectrum bill. All of the bills were in my name. So she owes me for all of them.
Okay. And during the prior time that you were living there, I assume that There were 4 roommates altogether?
At times 4, at times 3 because of COVID. One had moved out.
So she owes 25% of the utility bills. What are the total of the utility bills that were outstanding through December 5th that she didn't pay?
She owes $531.61.
I want to know what the total was of the utility bills through when she moved out December 5th. Not what you say her share is. My question was specific.
Well, I moved out in October, so that's when the bills are from.
You moved out in October?
Yes.
Leaving her there, and she didn't pay rent until March. Okay, so now let me see the utility bills. You acknowledge, Ms. Hill, that they were all in Ms. Zimbardi's name?
Yes.
And you are responsible for 25% of whatever is due and owing on those utility bills?
Yes, Your Honor.
Correct?
Correct.
Okay, so now let's see the final invoice of the utility bills. Give me the amount so that I don't have to look at it. The amount, the date of the first bill.
Well, the first bill was from September, and that's the total amount.
Well, did she pay that in September? You were all living
No.
there in September.
She didn't pay that.
When was the last time you paid a utility bill?
The last time I paid was in August.
Hill.
In September, I told her that I had to get my car fixed. My unemployment was backed up.
Okay, so she owes 25% of $1,030.
Well, I have 3 more bills.
Just a second.
Okay.
So far.
And at the time, there was only 3 of us living there. So we each paid a
I don't
third.
care.
Okay.
Okay. What's next?
The other
What's the
LADWP
next
bill
bill?
was the final bill after I moved out we received because it's a quarterly bill.
Okay, hold on. What's next?
This is our SoCal gas bill from that month.
What's next?
Spectrum bill, our internet, $65.
Next?
That was the last one.
Great. Judgment for the plaintiff in the amount of $365. Your counterclaim has already been dismissed. This case is over. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Judge.
Thank you.
This case is concluded. Parties are excused.
I think I was just living with a crazy person for the past year.
She has no goals in life, so maybe that's why there's so many problems between us.
She got up
Completely fine and just needed some training like any other puppy does.
I'm definitely gonna do better vetting job.
I'm glad to put this behind me.
All parties in the matter of Savage versus Bergeron. Step to the podium, please.
Thomas and Marcy Savage are suing Trent Bergeron for failing to pay for 2 bird cages.
Mr. and Mrs. Savage, this is what I understand. Both you and your husband, as well as the defendant, are collectors of exotic birds. Had that as a hobby for many years. For some reason, you decided that you were no longer going to pursue the hobby, and you had acquired over the course of this hobby bird cages and a large outdoor aviary in your backyard, which is just a huge bird cage. Do you have photographs of those things, by the way?
Yes, we do.
May I see them, please? Just so I can get an idea of what I'm talking about.
Here's a picture of one of the cages that was purchased.
And you had 2. Were they similar?
The second one is larger and has, let me take this one down. And the other one looks like this, yet it's white and it's larger, but the structure and
now,
the...
you bought these cages new, I assume, for your large bird. Aviary.
This is current day aviary.
Okay. It was in November of 2019 when you met the defendant. Defendant is also a collector of large or exotic birds. According to you, he agreed to buy 2 of the large bird cages, the ones that you showed me that were inside of your house, and he agreed to buy them for $1,000. He came, he picked them up. He didn't have the $1,000. He gave you his word that he would pay you $250 a month until it was paid off. You didn't know him from a hole in the wall, but you agreed to that. Didn't hear from him for a long time. Finally, he got in touch, and he sent you $100. In total, over several months, he sent you a total of $300, and then nothing else.
Judge Judy, we received
yes.
$200.
Only 2?
Yes.
$200.
That's correct.
Right. First payment was missed. He said his daughter needed braces. He missed another payment. He said, claimed his wife Ann had a stroke. December, he sent you a payment, and he sent another $100 the end of January. And then he just stopped paying for them.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
When you picked up the cages,
It was supposed to be.
how much was your agreement? Is not an answer.
Closed captioning is provided by Thomas and Marcy Savage are suing Trent Bergeron for failing to pay for 2 bird cages.
Okay. Now, the defendant says that he agreed to take the 2 cages and the outdoor aviary. And then a lot of excuses, a lot of reasons, and then COVID hit, and he said, just forget it. We don't want that big outdoor aviary, which looks like a piece of junk anyway. When you bought the 2 bird cages, do you recall how many years ago you bought them?
Approximately in 2001 on one of the cages. Later on, we replaced it with another cage in about 2010 or 11. But these were all indoor.
I want to know what you paid for the 2 cages that the defendant took.
One of them we paid $900 for. That was the beige large one. The dome cage we paid approximately $698. Now, there was a third piece that they had taken, which was a wrought iron indoor perch.
It was a standing perch for
And
feeding.
$98.
Okay. And all of these things were purchased over a 20-year period. Is that
Yes,
what you're telling me?
That is correct.
Okay. So in total, over a 20-year period, you paid approximately, if I believe it, because you don't have receipts for that, approximately $1,900.
That is correct.
Okay. Well, what your statement is, sir, is that they agreed to sell you what for how much?
Okay, it was.
I just want to hear.
Okay, it was the 2 cages, the outdoor aviary, the perch, and then there was miscellaneous bowls and like.
For how much?
1,000.
Look at me.
1,000.
Okay. And you took the perch and you took the 2 cages.
Yes, ma'am.
And you paid nothing.
We agreed to do payments.
Well, you agreed to do payments, sir, because you came to pick up the stuff with no money.
Well, our agreement was.
You came. No. Was your initial agreement that you were going to make payments, or did you come to pick up the cages with just no money and say, I'll make payments?
No, our agreement was to make payments.
Okay. You picked up the cages, the 2 cages and the perch, in what month?
It was November.
November of 2019.
Yes, ma'am.
And how much were you supposed to pay each month?
At first it was $200, and then with everything that was going.
When you picked up the cages, it
was supposed to be.
How much was your agreement?
$200.
And when were the payments supposed to start? Is not an answer. In December.
I believe following month.
That's December.
Yes, ma'am.
Did you pay the $200 in December?
We didn't. She said 100 would be sufficient.
No, just a second. You didn't. Did you call her and tell her that you couldn't make the $200 payment? Did you call her?
Yes, I did.
And tell her that you couldn't make? You did.
Yes.
Did he call you?
Yes, after I contacted him via text.
Okay, so you contacted him.
Correct.
On what date did you contact him?
The contract was signed November 17th, 2019. And then...
Do you have a copy of the contract?
Yes, I do.
May I see it, please?
And I take that back. Trent did call on November 21st, and he claimed he was unable to make the first payment due to his daughter needed braces and he had too many bills.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. And later today.
Before you try to sell it to anybody?
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy. Thomas and Marcy Savage are suing Trent Bergeron for failing to pay for 2 bird cages.
Now, he's just a scammer. He just scammed you, is really all. He owes you $800. He paid you $200. He agreed to pay you $1,000 for all of them. That's what he owes you. You're not supposed to do that to nice people, sir. You're not supposed to take the property that you don't intend to pay for. We're done. $800, judgment for the plaintiff.
Right. This case is concluded. Parties are excused.
Money's hard to come up with these days.
I feel it was very fair.
We tried bringing back the cages.
They had a passion for birds, such as we did, and we would work with him as best we could.
It's over.
I am sorry for them, but it has to do with integrity.
And now, the next case.
All parties in the matter are Roberts versus Bamberry. Step forward.
Jessica Roberts is suing her ex-fiancé, Tim Bamberry, for the return of the engagement ring. Jessica claims she was the one who paid for it.
Mr. Roberts, you and the defendant were engaged. The engagement didn't work out. Some convoluted story that the ring that was purchased, which I assume is in that box, which was your engagement ring, was purchased. The ring went with Mr. Bamberry, and you want him to pay for it.
Somewhat.
Well, you don't want to be stuck with the payments without the ring, right?
Exactly.
How much was the ring?
Total, I think it was $3,500.
Not around. How much was the ring?
It was 35 something. I don't have, it doesn't show me the total amount here. It just shows me the last balance. It's $958.81. That's what's left. He paid most of it.
He paid most of it?
Yes.
So then let's talk about this. Let's talk about what an engagement ring is. Let's say he bought the engagement ring and you say he paid most of what it is.
Right.
You now have it back, right?
Yes.
And that's what I would do if you bought the ring and she kept it. Let's say you put the ring on your credit card, sir, and you broke up and she refused to give you back the ring. You would sue her and say, I want the ring back, right?
Yes.
Because I bought it and I paid for it. You have the ring.
Yes.
She doesn't want to get stuck with this $958. Do you want the ring back?
Yes.
Then you have to give her back the $958. That's very simple.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. Have you been cheated? Go to judgejudy.com, like us on Facebook, and follow us on Twitter.
Now, sir, when engagement ring is given in contemplation of marriage, the marriage doesn't come off for one reason or another. Person who gave the ring gets it back. That would be you, but you got to pay for it. Then the ring is yours. You can sell it, recoup whatever you can get from selling it to a private party. Could I see the ring? Just because I'm a little bit of a yenta.
It was designed for me. It was the salespeople that talked me into getting the credit card.
It's very pretty. Before you try to sell it to anybody, clean it. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Needs a good cleaning. Okay, anything else you want to tell me? Perfect. Judgment for the plaintiff in the amount of $958. That's all. Give him back his ring, Bird, it's his.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. And on the next Judge Judy.
You took the sneakers and then claimed they were fakes.
We did a UV light test, which is an indicator of them not being authentic.
Sometimes you're the windshield and sometimes you're a bug.
Judge Judy.
I just wanted the ring paid off. I wanted no more ties to each other.
Well, I was hoping...
We just couldn't communicate with each other to come to a resolution.
Probably because we still were kind of, getting along at one time, and we just tried to do it, and we just got back in each other's faces, kept yelling and screaming.
We broke up because we fight too much.
It just wasn't meant to last, I guess.
Very whirlwind. We were engaged a month after we met.
It was